If you like what you hear, please go subscribe at Amazon, Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, do all that so you don't miss any segments. And please do us a huge favor and share this podcast with a baseball fan in your life and help spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is here talking about Central Indiana sports every single day. And here's our reaction to day one of the Major League Baseball postseason. Welcome, baseball fans. The playoffs are here. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt. I'm joined by my co-host, Paul Tipton, and a regular on all the podcasts, Will Retherford, joined me to discuss the first day of the wild card, the first day of the postseason. We set a new rule today. We're going to go after the last game. We're going to talk baseball, but if innings plus margin it goes over 13 and a half, we're going to go ahead and record. And night one, it's 8-0 in the sixth. That equals 14. Here we go. The Reds are now down 8-2 in the seventh, but it hasn't been a good day for the Reds at all. It was a good day overall, though, right, Paul?
Yes, very exciting. Pitching was the name of the game, and we'll say this for the Reds. They've scored more runs than the losing team did in the other three games.
That is correct.
Okay.
And they scored more runs than their entire last postseason.
Oh, that's true. I did see a stat that said the Dodgers have won 64 postseason games since the Reds have.
65.
Rough.
By the way, this is the first ever postseason win of the Dodgers over the Reds. The only other time they played was 1995. The Reds swept the Dodgers.
Wow.
In the first ever divisional round in the National League.
Wow.
Only to get swept by the Braves in the NLCS. Let's talk Cubs, guys.
Boy, that was a surprise, wasn't it?
The Padres don't handle
I
that.
was
The Padres,
shocked.
to me, are the team that I felt like once the spotlight got on them, they're the team most likely to fall apart. And I picked Cubs in 2 because I think now tomorrow I fully expect them to fall apart.
Come on, Will.
Yeah.
You were talking about the Padres mid-season.
Yeah,
And preseason.
I don't think that they handle left-hand pitching very well, and Boyd was effective. And bullpen just came in and kind of shut him down. They just didn't get really anything rolling. They didn't capitalize early. You can't have a runner on third in the first inning with no outs and not bring him home to make it a 2-0 game. I just think that they had opportunities to, I think, kind of put the Cubs away because the Cubs bats weren't particularly good either. They just kind of let the Cubs hang around, and in Wrigley Field, that's a bad idea. You got to put them away, and they didn't do so. And I mean, now they are facing elimination.
Boy, but to not even threaten really against the bullpen, the Cubs bullpen has been less than impressive lately.
I think the shadows actually have a lot to do with it. They crept in there. It was difficult for 4 innings or so, or you had the pitcher in the sun, you had the box in the shade, and I just think that with the velocity and spin rates you see these pitchers throw, I think it's really hard for hitters to pick up on. I say that, and the Cubs hit 2 home runs in the shadows against Nick Pivetta, but I thought Pivetta just went to the well too many times with the fastball. He just continued to try to challenge the Cubs, and I think eventually you saw him miss one to Suzuki, which got absolutely crushed, and then Carson Kelly comes up the next at bat. He's hunting high fastball, and Pivetta gives it to him, and then that finds the first row. I'm curious to see how it applies to Cease's start tomorrow, who is another fastball-heavy pitcher, if the Cubs are going to kind of go with the same approach. I will say that Cease's fastball does sit a little higher velo than Pivetta's, but it was just one of those games that the Padres just never got their footing, and I think that it's concerning against a bullpen that you largely thought was potentially the weakest in the National League.
So the Padres should be hoping for more clouds in the sky tomorrow, since the game is going to be played at exactly the same time of day.
And Thursday.
You're probably right.
By the way, shadows or not, is there any better setting in sports than Wrigley Field in October.
Pretty impressive.
I can think of one that's better, but I mean, that would be St. Louis in October, where they've lived. But it's been
That
unfortunate.
stadium is not Wrigley Field. It's a nice place. It's not
I'm
Wrigley
glad the
Field.
Cubs could keep it warm, October warm, for the Cardinals to get back there. But I mean, baseball heaven, nothing tops it.
Pretty. It was quite electric. Really, the crowds were great in all the places, unless you like Dodger fans going crazy, which is not my cup of tea.
I love L.A.
This Dodgers-Reds series is the perfect example of why shitty teams shouldn't get in the playoffs.
There should be
Because
a win limit, shouldn't there?
the Reds are bad. The Reds are not good. They have no business being. They are only here because the Mets absolutely, utterly collapsed. On paper, the Mets would present much tougher challenge for this Dodgers team. The Reds just cannot hang. I would expect tomorrow to be near the same result as tonight.
Andrew Abbott? You don't think Andrew Abbott will perform better against the Dodgers?
I mean, you sent out your best today, and he got absolutely dumped on.
You think Hunter Green's their best pitcher?
I think when it comes to doing strikeout pitching, yes. I think that Andrew Abbott is a pitch-to-contact guy, and the Dodgers are not a lineup you want to play pitch-to-contact. You've got the best left-handed hitting, left-handed batter in Freddie Freeman in the entire league. Shohei, splits-wise, isn't that much of a difference. And then you've got Teoscar Hernandez, Tommy Edmonds better from the right side. Like, tonight was the night if the Reds were going to get one, it'd be tonight.
No doubt in my mind it'll be a quality start for Andrew Abbott tomorrow.
I think it will too. I think the Reds will probably won't win, but they'll acquit themselves a lot better than they did this evening.
I agree, and I'm glad they got a couple runs there late, kind of get some.
Dave Roberts is sending Snell out there to get shelled on so the bullpen's fresh for tomorrow, but that's the only reason that they're not going to. I mean, you have an 8-run lead, it gives your starting pitcher a little leeway. He can get tagged for a few.
It is 10-2 now. Let's move to the American League. Paul, bases loaded, nobody out.
I hate to be the old guy who says teams should be able to bunt, but when the pitching is this good, the Tigers won their game today because they got a bunt down, and Cleveland did not. And the same can be said for the Padres. I know they thought they were in great shape there in that first inning, but if they score that second run, that's a completely different game too. So it's just in the playoffs, you either have situational hitting, but those pitchers are so good when they need a strikeout. It's quite often they can.
You're a professional batter. You should know how to bunt.
I agree with that.
I don't care how good of a home run hitter you are, how good of a hitter you are. If you are a professional batter, you should be spending at least a little time every day bunting. It's just common sense, but
it depends on the batter. I think it depends largely on the batter. I'm never sending Shohei Ohtani to go bunt. I'm just not doing it. I'm Freddie Freeman. He's never bunting. Like, those are just guys you just don't take the bat out of their hands.
Fair enough, but they should still know how to bunt.
Now, I'm sure that both Shohei and Freddie Freeman are probably incredible bunters who have no reason to ever do it because they're in the position to do so. I mean,
you're probably right.
The lineup just changes.
Situations, though.
I agree.
There are very few times, situationally, that we've figured out that bunting is a good idea. But there are sometimes it's obvious that you should and must, and a lot of batters can't even do it.
I would agree with Will that during the regular season, you don't have to have this game, and it's gonna, you might put a big inning together. But against most of these pitchers in the postseason, it's tough to do.
Small ball's going to be the difference.
You can scratch one out. Even Cleveland in the 9th inning, Jose Ramirez is on third base. None of those guys. If the first guy can't get him in, then the second guy should be laying down a bunt.
Whitey Herzog is rolling over in his grave.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, Paul. If I'm a fan of a team, I'm obviously saying, hey, we'll give the first guy the shot. Like, I'll give but the second guy coming up, you can't reach base, I think you've got to try for the bunt regardless. But like somebody like Jose Ramirez gets down the line incredible. I'm talking a 44 stolen base type baseball player. All you got to do is get it down. As long as you get it down, he should score on that with ease. But unfortunately, it's just a dying play in our game.
Yep, it's true.
Are the Tigers a threat to win this whole thing because of Scooble?
Don't think so. Don't think they're going to score enough runs to get to past the next. If they get past Cleveland, I don't think they'll score enough to beat Seattle.
I think this Tigers team should start Tarek Skubal tomorrow if they could. I think that he's their only chance. I like Cleveland's chances. Obviously, they lose a game. If they're able to steal one against Skubal, you feel completely different. They lost one. They got through the guy. Now they're thinking it's go time. Because I would say that Cleveland's rotation 2 and 3 is probably better than Detroit's 2 through 3. It's not like they didn't. Gavin Williams wasn't. I would not consider it to be Cleveland's ace, but they were going on regular rest too, which is a strategy that particular teams take. Other teams decide they want to throw the ace out there.
Pretty close to toss-up matchups, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't think Tanner Bybee's going to hold the Tigers to 0 or 1 runs tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot more runs tomorrow, I think.
I would think a few more anyway. Cleveland scored 6 fewer runs than their opponents. They're trying to be the first team to go to the World Series since the 87 Twins with a negative run differential during the regular season.
Wow. The 87 Twins. They beat the Tigers in the ALCS that year, didn't they?
They beat your Cardinals in the World Series, Will. That was a long time ago, though.
Speaking of Whitey Herzog.
Hey, did you see the Cubs are going bullpen game tomorrow?
What?
Andrew Kittredge is their probable starter.
Is that true?
That's what I'm going to go to MLB and see if I can confirm that. But
interesting move.
Yes, Andrew Kittredge. Well, unless he's the opener, they could have somebody piggyback off of him.
That would be a bad move in my mind.
I agree with you. You don't give away games in the postseason. I know you're not giving it away, but by the way, the Reds are going Zach Littell.
What?
So yeah. So we
Abbott
know that
not until 3.
Well, that's crazy.
He gives up home runs.
Yeah, that's bad news. That's just.
That's those poor Reds fans. They stick with him and make the playoffs and celebrate for 3 days, and then that.
He's been good. But that seems like
against that team in Chavez Ravine.
Oh, they needed Abbott on Sunday. Maybe that's the reason.
Maybe. Wow.
But
I will say that
you don't hold pitchers back.
The data doesn't suggest that pitching guys on short rest is actually advantageous, though. If you go look historically at the numbers when teams do bring starters up on fewer rest, they don't perform. I mean, maybe that's the philosophy that Francona is going with. That Dodgers lineup tonight, it flexed its muscles. It showed why this is a team that largely is probably, I would say, the favorite in the National League. If their pitching is healthy, bullpen's weak, but yeah, it's interesting.
I still think the Phillies, top to bottom, have the better roster, but the Dodgers are certainly dangerous.
Yeah. I think we're going to see if the so far teams that win game 1 are 12-0 in this playoff format. As far as winning that first series, I guess we're going to see if that statistic holds true this year, because I know that I picked wrong on the first 3 games. So I picked the losers to win the series.
It'll be interesting.
I agree with you that 3 of those teams, leaving the Reds aside for a second, I could see those other three teams that lost today winning the series, winning 2 games in a row. It's distinctly possible. Yes. Greg has been very critical of Aaron Boone, and I thought he pulled the boner move of the day from a managerial viewpoint by pulling Max Fried with 1 out in the 7th inning, 102 pitches, and then Crochet throws 100. You could just see Max Fried in the dugout watching all 15 of those extra pitches and saying, I could have done that. This is the formula. Here's Craig Counsell pulling his guy in the 5th inning.
That was advantageous for the Cubs. But here's the thing that I find so funny with that is that Crochet was lights out. I mean, and I think that you saw Cora's game plan was he has been our most effective pitcher against the Yankees. So we're going to throw him out there as long as possible. Because why else? You don't see that move in the modern MLB as far as letting your starter go 8 innings in, 7 1/3 in the postseason. You just don't see that happen. And I think that there was a strategy behind that of we're going to try to win game 1 with our ace.
Yep. Seemed pretty smart.
Even if Aaron Boone makes all the right moves, I can't stand the guy.
Well, he certainly didn't make all the right moves today.
He doesn't often. I don't know
and
how he does
the Dodger bullpen has problems that may crop up later on, and the Yankees have bullpen problems that seem to be cropping up too.
And the Reds don't have bullpen problems, and it doesn't seem like that's going to matter.
Maybe the Reds should do a
bullpen day.
Bullpen game.
That might be the plan, to go a couple innings with a couple of guys, because you got Chase Burns down in the bullpen now, and they've got Graham Ashcraft in the bullpen. They're awfully good for 2 innings. Those guys are awfully good for two innings at a time. So maybe that is the plan.
I would imagine Littell's leash is going to be awfully short tomorrow.
It is the top of the 8th. The Reds are threatening, down 10-2 with runners on first and second and 1 out. So maybe we're going to make some noise here and shock the world, right? And then we'll have to wake everybody up and come back and do another
we'll have to re-record the whole thing.
That's right.
Yeah. I do hope there are 4 dramatic games instead of 3 dramatic games tomorrow. So
yeah,
this is a really good day for baseball.
And that the Yankees come out on the right side tomorrow.
Well, unless Aaron Boone pulls a rock.
Aaron Boone might get his ass fired if they lose tomorrow.
If they lose to the Red Sox, I can see it happening. Yes.
They lose to the Red Sox.
Job this long. I just don't understand it.
I think about it. The Steinbrenner family has been pretty forgiving of managers, at least in my lifetime, for sure. I don't really know how they have before, but I mean, Joe Girardi had a job for an awfully long time.
Correct.
Yes, they have.
And he won a World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult to fire your manager after you went to the World Series last year, but and the only saving grace to Boone's job might be that Garrett Cole was out the entire year. Their run differential, they should have definitely won more games than they did. Garrett Cole only adds to that. That might be his only saving grace, but I think it's going to get awfully loud, especially to the Red Sox. If it had been another team, I think it's not as bad, but to lose to your hated rival at home,
correct,
tough sell to the fan base.
Yes, exactly. Well said. Yes. The most demoralizing thing that I saw today was the leadoff home run by Ohtani.
Man, is he good, Paul. Where's he rank all time in your lifetime?
Too early to tell. I'll get back to
saying as a pure hitter, fear him coming up to the plate. Top 5, right?
He definitely is. He's definitely a fearful object when he gets up there, yeah. He's not a real clutch guy, I don't think. His postseason numbers haven't been tremendous. So
they were tonight.
Did he hit another one?
He hit 2.
And the second was absolutely tattooed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it because I was enjoying the second at-bat when he took strike 3 right down the middle.
Yeah, he was 2 for 5 with 3 strikeouts and 2 home runs.
The thing that I find so funny with Tani's situation too is like he kind of gets a pass, I think, with the postseason woes, but like Judge doesn't. Like Judge does not get the pass at all. Everybody's like, well, Aaron Judge just shrinks in October, and I mean they're kind of right. I mean, I hate to
Yeah.
say it, but
He got 2 hits tonight, but we had a guy on base, and he was the tying run, and you could just see in the Yankee Stadium they were like trying to get enthusiastic about a single, but it was like, no, 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 we need a tying home run.
Yeah.
Poor,
And look, you get in
poor
the
guy.
postseason, you're facing better pitchers. You're
Correct.
facing,
It's
you're
true.
never facing bad pitchers, and it's a different thing. But there is such a thing as a guy who just doesn't. Peyton Manning was amazing. In the postseason, he just was not as good as he was in the regular season.
yeah.
That's just
Well,
a fact.
Greg, I think to answer your question about my lifetime, obviously shorter than you guys, I would say that as far as a player, I think Ohtani is easily the best baseball player probably ever. Feared hitter, I would say Josh Hamilton struck the fear of God in me when he was with the Texas Rangers. That dude felt like every early Christian Yelich Milwaukee Brewers was also one of the world's scariest baseball
There
players.
was a time where Albert Pujols, every time he came up to the plate,
Pujols too, yes.
Well, I can't say
you didn't
he's
fear
my
him
most
because
feared
you were enjoying it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Barry Bonds, though.
Yes.
By the way, do you know we were this close to the greatest player in baseball history being known as Herman?
George Herman Rose?
Yeah.
Ohtani is. I mean, do we really think that Babe Ruth is better than Shohei Ohtani?
Yes, and it's not close.
But let's just wait for another year.
He hit more home runs than half of the teams in the league most of his year.
Correct.
Yes, Babe Ruth is the greatest baseball player of all time.
He was the greatest left-handed pitcher of the 19.
Correct. And pitched the Red Sox to a World Series.
Give it another year or two, and then we can come back. Let's have some more drama tomorrow.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
And let's get together a little bit later tomorrow night because the Reds are like hanging right until the end of the game.
Because 9 plus 1 is only 10. And
that is correct. Yes. Okay.
Thanks.
See ya.
Thanks so much to Paul and Will for joining me to talk some baseball. And thank you for listening. We will be back on Wednesday and Thursday nights to talk some more MLB postseason. Please share. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.